It's Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. A lot to talk about today. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get right into what's happening. Dow Jones drops about 400 points today. NASDAQ was down 156. 10-year bond yield, as I make this video, sitting at 4.35%. Oil up $1.50. We are now over $85 a barrel. Gold, as I make this video, up $42, sitting at $2,299. Silver up $1.12, $26.20 for an ounce of silver. You know, if you are on the fence about getting this stuff and you need a reputable place, go to SD Bullion. My link down below if you need some gold, if you need some silver. This stuff is never going to be worth zero. And as times get worse, as we enter more uncertainty, as the political leadership in this country continues to decay, we're going to see more and more people, more central banks, more governments around the world running to real assets like gold and silver. They're never going to be worth zero. That is why I advise everybody have some. If you need some, go to SD Bullion, link down below. 10-year Treasury yield hits highest level since November as bets on June rate cuts cool down. Yet gold and silver up today. And they're going to keep going up because inflation is not going to go away. Inflation is going to continue to increase. Not to say we're not going to see a pullback in gold or silver. Of course we are. But I don't see inflation going away. Do you see inflation going back to 2% anytime soon? I do not. I see more money printing. Yes, at some point they are going to cut rates. I don't see it in the near future. When they do, gold and silver are going to go ballistic. And even though there are no rate cuts, and they're telling us that we're not going to see a rate cut for a while, gold and silver are still going up. Why is that? Gold and silver do not expect rate cuts, but they do expect more trouble. They expect more pain. They expect more inflation, and that's why it's going up. Bankrate.com today. 30-year fixed rate mortgage, 6.88%. Here's one today from CNBC. Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester still expects rate cuts this year, but rules out May. They just keep putting this off further and further down the line. She leaves in June after serving her 10-year limit, so she won't even be here in June. So if we don't get a cut in June, she's not even a part of this. But they're trying to just put that hope out there that, you know, hey, you know, next month, maybe next month, maybe next month, maybe this summer. They're keeping that hope alive out there, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I don't see one happening in April. I don't see one happening in May. And if we're going to continue to have markets at all-time highs, gold going up, Bitcoin, you know, at all-time highs, everything is going up. Why and how would we see a rate cut? Here's another one from CNBC. U.S. crude oil cracks $85 to hit highest level since October as geopolitical tensions mount. More problems in the Middle East. And the more oil prices go up, ladies and gentlemen, the harder it is going to be able to control inflation. This is very inflationary. There is no doubt now that we're going to see $90+ oil this summer. And if things really heat up in the Middle East, you're going to see $100+ oil. And if that happens, you've got to start thinking about seeing rate hikes. There's no way that they're going to cut. If oil prices get out of control, the price of everything is going to go up. At that point, you've got to believe that the Fed is going to have to raise rates. So more pain coming. CNBC. Bitcoin tumbles $5,000 in 24 hours as interest rates jump. And this is the bond yields. Absolutely screaming again. And we're hitting 2024 highs in bond yields. So if you're in the cryptos, if you're in Bitcoin, you are on a roller coaster ride. But look, you know, when I look at Bitcoin, and God bless you if you had it and you made some money, I hope you've pulled some money off the table. But everybody wants to compare it to digital gold. There's this thing called the gold standard. There is nothing that is higher than a gold standard. There's nothing, in my opinion, that's worth more. There's nothing other than real, there's no other real money than physical gold. This is why everything is compared to gold. the gold standard. And one thing that I think that we have to realize, and if you get a chance, check out Texas Silver. He's put out a couple videos last week. We were talking today. I was talking with Aaron today, and I agree 100%. Bitcoin has never, and these cryptos have never been tested. They've never been through a cyber attack. They've never been through a world war. They've never been through a Great Depression. They've never been through a currency collapse, etc. Gold has been through all this, and it is still here 5,000 years later. It has been tested. That is why you have a gold standard. It is always compared to physical gold. So be careful out there. I know there's still a lot of FOMO. Be very, very careful out there what you're buying, how much you're buying, because a lot of this is a big gamble, ladies and gentlemen. These cryptos can go to zero. They can go to zero. Gold and silver cannot. And I'm not telling you not to buy it. I'm not telling you not to be diversified. Again, people have bought it. They've made money. The people who've gotten out and actually cashed in have gotten money. If you're still in this, you don't have any money yet. What I like about physical gold and silver is if there's a cyber attack, if a grid goes down, if there's no power, I can access my physical gold and silver very, very quickly. But no farmer is going to sell you 100 pounds of beef for a Bitcoin. He'll do it maybe for cash if it's still viable, but he'll definitely do it for gold and silver. Housing affordability has just totally collapsed, economists say. This also on CNBC. Home buyers need to earn $113.5 thousand a year to afford the typical home in the United States. That's more than 35% of what the typical household makes. How in the world is the real estate industry going to stay alive when people cannot afford to buy a house? This is completely unsustainable when that is 35%. Actually, it's probably much closer to probably 45% what the typical household makes. Unsustainable. These numbers don't add up. You cannot even have a market if nobody can afford to buy it. And this is a problem here. The numbers don't add up. The prices don't add up where people's incomes are. So this is completely unsustainable. So something is going to have to give. Either people begin to make a lot more money, interest rates or mortgage rates go to 2 or 3%, or home prices come down. Which one do you think is going to happen? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Here's from one from Yahoo Finance. 1 million simulations, one verdict for U.S. economy. Debt danger ahead. The Congressional Budget Office warned in its latest projections that the U.S. federal government debt is on path from 97% of GDP last year to 116% by 2034, higher even than in World War II. The actual outlook, though, is likely worse. The actual number in this article is closer to 123%. Bloomberg Economics has run 1 million simulations to assess the fragility of the debt outlook, and it is very, very troubling. And trouble is not going to be avoided. We have a debt crisis on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, with our government, the average household, the average individual. Everything is running on credit. And how long can this sustain? I don't think it can. It won't sustain much longer. Debt danger is definitely ahead. So if you get a minute, check out that article. Think about it. Everything runs on debt. You know, Bill Holder, when we talked to him last summer, he was talking about when you look at, food, the farmer has to borrow money to plant the crop. The truck driver borrows money for the fuel to transport the crop. The grocery store or the food processing plant has to borrow money to buy the food. The person at the grocery store buying the food is using a credit card. I mean, everything is revolving around credit at this point. The hedge today, California's deficit is $222 billion, and the state is $1.6 trillion in debt. All these problems in California that we have, yet you look at the stock market at all-time highs, unemployment at literally all-time lows, so-called economy is booming. I mean, I know all this is manipulated. They keep telling us all of this. But the reality is these states, these cities, households are all crumbling to debt. And the problem is, for the state of California, for the United States of America, for the average household, for the average individual, as this depression, I'm not even calling this a recession now, I believe we're in a depression. As this depression steepens, the pain is going to be brutal for everybody because of all of this debt. People are going to get hit so hard. The government will get hit hard. The states will get hit hard. Everybody's going to feel the pain because everybody's running on debt. And I believe that we are not far off from feeling serious pain. And a lot of people are feeling the pain right now because they're falling so far behind. They've run out of savings. They're tapping into retirements. The credit cards are now tapped out. They're losing jobs. They're losing their cars. They're feeling serious pain. But I have bad news for everybody. It's going to get a lot worse. And if you're in major debt, you're going to feel a lot of pain. I hate to say that. This is why I've been making these videos for 7 years, because I saw the writing on the wall, like most of you out there. We all saw the writing on the wall, and we knew that we needed time to prepare for this. And luckily, we woke up years ago and started preparing for this, because this is something you can't prepare for a month out or 6 months out. This is something that I've been preparing for many, many years. But when I started making these videos 7 years ago, I would say I started really seeing the light around 2013, 2014. You know, when I started making metal purchases, when I started really waking up, asking questions, and then when I started making videos. When you make videos, when you start watching this stuff daily, you begin to really pay close attention to what is happening. You really look at the details of what's happening. And the more you do, the more you get concerned, and the more you're taking action to do something about it. And you begin to really see the trouble we are in. And it is getting more difficult for the government to hide the damage that is being done. You cannot hide $1.6 trillion of debt. You cannot hide a deficit of $222 billion. They used to be able to sweep this stuff under the rug. But now that people are losing jobs, people are tapped out, people know that they're going to have to work till they're 100 to retire. They're never going to be able to retire. It's harder and harder to hide this stuff from the people. The Hill. Why are Americans so unhappy? Easy answer: because they're broke. Americans feel broke. It says here in the article, Americans want to move to a different country, like that's going to fix the problem. It says here 30% of the people that were interviewed in this article want to move. My question is, and please comment down below, if you're one of these people, where would you move? Where would you have greater opportunity? I want to know the answer to that. Where would you move right now? And would you move? How many of you watching this video today would move? And where would you move to? I don't know. I would think that a lot of these people in this article, if they move, they'd probably go and mess up some other country. I don't know, but just my thoughts. But again, 30% in this article here in the Hill, 30% want to move. But the question is, where would they move to? And again, they probably would destroy that country. But comment down below. If you were to move, where would you move to? What would you do for work in one of those countries? Wall Street Journal, the new magic number for retirement is 1.46 million, so basically $1.5 million. And here's what it tells us. What it tells us is most people are not going to be retiring. Get ready to work till you die. This country, ladies and gentlemen, is going to look a lot different in 5 to 10 years. And my question is, what are people going to do for work that cannot retire when you're 65, 70, 80 years old? What are these people going to do for work? Typically, they would go get a job at Walmart. They go get a job at a fast food restaurant. Guess what? Those jobs are all going to be replaced in the next 5 to 10 years by AI, probably sooner. Where are all these people who cannot retire? Where are they going to work? AI is going to be taking millions of jobs. Think about, people right now, 60, 65, 70 years old, have absolutely no money saved up. We're in a depression, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get much, much worse. And if you're not prepared mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially for this, you are going to feel serious pain. You are going to be a victim of a very, very serious depression, ladies and gentlemen. The Hedge. In Easter ruling, judge orders release of these newcomers that were coming through the border. What was that, a week or two ago, where they just knocked over our soldiers, our National Guard members, knocked them right over. Guess what? They've been released. They might be living next door to you. They might be renting a room from you. What do you think about that? Comment down below. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? They didn't just break into a building or into a home. They broke into the United States of America, knocking over, assaulting U.S. soldiers, National Guard soldiers. And now they're released, and you could be walking right by one of them today. Who are they? Who knows? What are they doing here? What are their intentions? Who knows? Here's another one today, and I'll finish with this last one because it just, what's happening socially in this country, which a lot of people are going to tell you, man, the banks are bad, mortgage rates are up, interest rates aren't coming down, higher for longer, everything's horrible, businesses are going under, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You better worry about what's about to happen socially, because if you haven't seen what's happening, you live under a rock. Construction worker who sucker punched a disabled New York City man inside elevator blames the attack on his diabetes and could skirt jail time. I watched this video today, absolutely alarming. This gentleman, good size person, there's a older, mid-60s, slender man on the elevator, and this construction worker just pummels him. And this older man just didn't even know what was about to happen to him. But of course, the construction worker blaming his diabetes on his erratic behavior. The gentleman who nearly lost his life had to have brain surgery. They showed the photos of after his surgery. Wow. So here you are on an elevator, and somebody just assaults you, puts you in the hospital, and you have to have brain surgery. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress enough that you are learning how to defend yourself, that you are exercising situational awareness. Look, it's great to be in good physical shape, but if you don't have the skills to protect yourself, if you're not at the range training, if you have a permit to carry, you should be carrying every day, everywhere you go, period. And you should be very proficient. If you don't have one, then you better know how to use your hands. You better know how to wrestle. You better know how to punch. You better know how to take care of yourself. I mean, this guy stood no chance whatsoever. Remember, you're going to resort back to your training, ladies and gentlemen, and that's typically nothing. And now here, an innocent human being in the hospital after a brain surgery, and his life has been changed forever. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting what society is turning into, and that you can't even ride on an elevator. You can't go on a subway because somebody might push you on a train. You can't ride your bicycle because somebody might hit you with a baseball bat. It's disgusting. There's nothing stopping it. It's going to get worse, and all I can advise is that you get proficient with your security. And these people out there that talk about security, what kind of security are they talking about? My security that I'm recommending is you are good with your hands, that you know how to wrestle, that you are training jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, that you're getting to the range, and that you're getting proficient. That's the type of security I'm talking about, okay? I want you to realize that you need to be prepared to deal with a very, very dangerous situation. It's happening too much, too often, whether you're a man or a woman or a child. Everybody needs to know how to defend themselves. And everybody can say, I don't have the time. You better what's your life worth? What's your family's life worth? You better make the time. Stop with the excuses. I'm going to leave it there today before I go on a big rant here. It just really angers me when I see this evil running loose and being rewarded, nothing happening to it, and innocent people landing up in the hospital or losing their lives. And there's nothing being done about it. These people are let out. The lawlessness we are seeing, we have never ever seen before. And so you're going to possibly take the matter into your own hands. Don't allow somebody to take your life or your kid's life or your life. Defend it. You have a duty to protect your family, and you should want to protect yourself. God bless every one of you. Like, share, subscribe. Be careful out there. Pray for this country. Make sure you're getting out to that boxing class, that jiu-jitsu class, and make sure you're getting stronger, faster, smarter, walking closer to God, all that good stuff. God bless.